Indignuous.
Indigenous.
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 Inuous. Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Indigenous. That's what she's saying. Why is,
Indigenous.
you know what? Inuous. Try it again. Is that
Indigenous.
indig? Indig. Indig.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. That is so weird. Indigenous. Indigenous. Well, indigenous. Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Got it. Okay. Are you happy? Indigenous. People have been really getting mad at me over saying indigenous. No, it's indigenous. Clinton Jaws, how was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? What'd you do Sunday? We had a toilet that had kind of been broken down for the past 3 months, but it still worked. It still was functional. It just, what happened was, you know how a toilet constantly runs, and I had a problem fixing that part, so I took all the guts out of the top of it, replaced all the guts, and it still didn't work. It still kept on running. The water would just keep on running and running and running, so I turned the water off just a little bit. I just put it on a hair. The problem with that for the past 3 months is when you flush the toilet, it would take about 15 minutes for the toilet to fill up again. And you have company over, and if somebody flushes the toilet and then somebody else comes in to use the toilet, it could be embarrassing for them because it won't flush. It takes 15 minutes. You can only flush it once every 15 minutes. So it wasn't getting rid of all the bits and pieces. And it was Sunday, and I'm like, I'm going to do something nice. Okay? So I go down to the store, the hardware store, and I buy a toilet. It was $192. Got a bit of a discount on it. Came to $130, and I brought it home. And I guess the moral of the story is don't buy your wife a toilet for Mother's Day, okay? Don't do that. It didn't go over so well. I thought it was thoughtful because I installed it that day. Did something for her, did something for the family. Fixed it up. Yeah. And why does she get a gift? Okay, I'm going to get in trouble for this. But why is she getting gifts on Mother's Day from me, right? Mother's Day is for my mom. Mother's Day is for her mom. Why is the guy expected to buy something or do something? She's not my mom, right? It's almost like they want you to think, hey, I'm the mom. You're my child. That probably didn't come out right, but anyways, so don't do that, guys. I thought I'd come down here and just say a few things. There's been some things going on, and I just want to post something and say hi. And woke up in the morning, and I go to the MPF website on Instagram. I'm just starting up this thing called Instagram, right? Yeah, an Instagram profile. And I plug in the MPF, and I didn't know it's National Police Week. Did you guys even know that? May 9th to the 15th? Does the MPF have a problem with white people? Like, really? Like, can't you plug a white person in there? Is that too much to ask? Anyways, so, all police officers, happy National Police Week. But guess who ruins it? Guess what this Corporal Bernie Herman, you know what he does during National Police Week? He murders somebody. RCMP officer. Way to go, Bernie. Kills a young guy, a 26-year-old. They both got the same last name. It's confusing. But I kind of read a bit of this story, and the RCMP aren't going to tell you any details, right? But you can just tell it's real dark. There's something really weird and dark going on there. But this young kid was found in the bushes, and an RCMP member who had like 32 years experience decides to murder somebody. Idiot. You ruined the week. NPF. Where are the white people? Dogs. There's a lot. Oh, I think these guys are white. There's a white dude. He got him of his back. There's a girl. Oh, speaking of girls. Guess what's going on in Richmond, at Richmond Police Station? They hired a new girl. She's the chief superintendent. That's a big deal. Good for the girls. Man, they are getting big-time promotions, aren't they? And it's really good because there's only a handful of them, but they're getting some solid promotions. And what's her name? Julie Drotar. Fuck off. What's with all these ads? Richmond News Today or whatever. God, how many ads can you plug in to an article, guys? Gotta, though. They're going to go bankrupt if they don't. Anyway, she did something for 28 years with the RCMP. And this didn't make any sense. She has been, well, maybe it makes sense to you, but she has been at the Coquitlam detachment for the past 5 years, but is currently on loan to the Lower Mainland District managing the Sunshine Coast, UBC, and Mission. What does that mean? Do you guys have a clue? I don't. She's ready to take on this new challenge. Well, it's not really a challenge. You know what I mean? Can you do me a favor, though, Julie? Can you wear a gun? Can you be the first chief superintendent to wear a gun to work? And also, oh my God, I forgot about this. Right here. Can you get rid of those books? Can that be the first thing you do? Can you believe Richmond Police Station? I'm told, I can't confirm it, but I'm told in the lunchroom or somewhere they got these books up. White Fragility. How not to be a racist. Don't be a racist. Take the books. You know what? They had a member there that committed suicide not too long ago. How about you take these books down and put a book up about PTSD or mental health? Wouldn't that make more sense? These books are a joke. Have you ever read these books? White Fragility? Do you know what that book's about? A lot of people probably don't. If you're white, no matter what, if you're white, you're racist. The moment you're born, you're racist. That's basically what the book is saying. There's no way around it. If you disagree with the statements in this book, if you disagree with that, then you're racist. If you agree, then you're obviously racist. No matter what you do, white people, you're racist according to that book. Who wrote the book? A white lady. Nothing special about her. Making millions of dollars off this bullshit. I can't believe. Who put it up? Which dumbass is responsible for putting those books up? Obviously, the person who is running Richmond right now. Embarrassing. But it's racist to say that, right? Can't say it. And it would be racist for Julie to take him down. So she won't. And she won't wear a gun. Why am I all over Julie? She hasn't even started. Give her a chance. Give her a chance. What else? Plugging along here. This is good.
Hey, Clint. Mark in Kamloops again.
Hey, Tits.
Wrote my exam this morning and passed.
RCMP exam. Good job, man.
There was only...
You know what? Good job. Really. It's not the easiest thing to pass.
there was 4 of us that passed out of, I guess it was 7 people.
Only 4 passed out of 7. Isn't that something? That only 7 people were writing it. Is that what's going on right now? When I wrote it, there's hundreds. It seemed like hundreds. Okay, maybe 100. 7.
So, anyways, I'm happy I did that. One more step closer to going to depot.
Yep.
Getting my jersey.
Damn tootin'.
Looking forward to the next podcast. Talk to you later.
There's nothing like getting your jersey, buddy. I'm telling you. Or your costume. Good job. Good job, Mark. I got a message in Facebook Messenger the other day. I don't know if I should show the message, but her name is Jacqueline Rose. And she tells me about, how her first 2 years were just hell. And I'm not going to tell you what she said about it, but I guess I had said something. The first year and a half for me was terrible. And she's talking about horrible human beings that she had to work with. And she asked my advice on something. She goes, I'd like to hear your advice on how you dealt with stress in your time through the RCMP. And, okay, I'll answer the question. To be honest, I handled it through anger. I got angry a lot. I handled it through drinking beers. I noticed that when I came home after work, upset, and if I'd have a couple beers, I wasn't all that upset anymore. And the more beers I had, the less upset I was. That's how I handled stress. When you look back, what do you wish you had done differently to help manage it? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if anything would have worked for me. Oh, I started massages the last year of my career, and massages helped. But they say, exercise and go for a walk. But I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to come home after work and go for a walk. So I didn't do that. I would lay on the couch, drink some beer, and I probably didn't handle it very well. But, they say, yeah. So my final year and a half, I started, okay, you want to handle stress, you work out, right? So I worked out. Twice a day. I became actually muscular. I really, for the first time, really liked my body. And it did jack shit. I was still angry. Working out didn't do anything for me. Not a thing. It made me look better. I felt good about how I looked. But it didn't dissipate any stress. I was still stressed to the max, over 10. I remember I went for a massage, and you had to do a check sheet, and they said, rate your stress level from 1 to 10. And I'm like, well, that's a 10. Obviously, I don't know. I guess I'm not giving you very good advice, Jacqueline. The lack of support for members struggling is always mind-boggling to me. Thank you and have a great weekend. Yeah. I'm not smart enough to really. The organization has to figure that out. I'm not smart enough to figure out how you're supposed to handle stress. I'm tired of hearing exercise and go for walks. Like, no. There's got to be more. There's got to be more. They got to take care of you more. They need to reduce the stress. I could tell you how I reduce the stress for other members. That's really what they got to do. Why do we have to deal with so much stress? Why don't they deal with reducing the stress level? I reduced it all the time. Some members would say, oh yeah, you're full of shit, Clint. But I did. I worked for you. You're full of shit. How was your cue when you worked for me? That was important to me. 10 or less files. Sometimes 3, sometimes 0. I had members that had 0 files consistently. That's reducing stress, isn't it? I'm not on their backs. I'm not micromanaging. Even though some wanted me to, I wouldn't do it. I was the opposite of micromanaging. That reduced stress. I know it did. Thanks for the message, Jacqueline. Let's do one more quick comment that I got. Trevor Johnson wants to become a cop. So Trevor Johnson writes this big long thing. He watched my last episode with the marching and I forget what it was called. What was it called? Drill, my first drill class. And, I should bring this up. I got to show you something first. Okay, this is not to embarrass anybody, but a girl named Lori. She's got probably around 50 with it. I'm not going to make fun of her. Okay, I like your comments, guys. Lori Girdwood. She didn't like the drill. She goes, it should be the first drill class. Should be something experienced without private knowledge and of what is going to happen. I'm all for sharing tips, but it's a rite of passage that cadets should get to experience the same way. So she didn't like that I had posted that video. She didn't like how long of a video it was. I really dove into the drill. And then I wrote back. I said, yeah, I hear you. Maybe people should stop videotaping it. And I said, look at Tall Boots to Phil, right? She goes, yeah, but you did way more than that. They only touched on it a little bit. And then I went back and watched Tall Boots to Phil. It was 7 to 8 minutes of drill. And mine was about 14 to 15 minutes of drill. I don't know. Maybe she has a point. She's allowed to not like something that I did. But this guy liked what I had done with the video. If I could fucking find it. So Trevor writes me and he says, I really want to become a cop, but he's kind of 50-50 on it. Kind of a little bit, right? But he watches my video, and after he watched it, he says, from here on, I'm going to be taking this a lot more seriously. I want to do this in my life. So I wanted to say thank you. He's saying thank you to me because he watched it, and it got him going, and that made me feel good. He loved how I showed from the starting to how we were, followed by the improved drill. He loved seeing the comparison. And he wanted to say that I just figured it was always good to start a day when someone lets you know you've helped them in some way. So he's saying, thank you, Clint, you helped me in some way. I'm not trying to blow my whatever. But you see Lori, I hate it. And then you see Trevor, and I'm glad I did the video. That his message to me made my day. And then he writes, anyways, the last video makes me nearly tear up. Well, I'm about to be a father myself. And man, Trevor, you should have seen me after I finished that video. I didn't even realize what I had made. I was making it for you guys, but really, I made it for myself. Because after I watched it, you think you might have teared up. Holy cow. I'm proud of the video. It was weird. I didn't even realize what I was creating. It was almost a story of my life. I go to depot. I talk to my dad through depot. My parents, my mom and dad. I finish depot. They come to depot. I show you that they come to depot. The girlfriend who I end up marrying comes to depot. And then at the very end, all of a sudden I get a telephone call, which I played, and it's the wife with the kid in the background. Like it was full circle kind of video that was extremely emotional after I, watched it. Blah, blah, blah. And then, I'll tell you, this is so corny, guys. But after the video, I looked at my jersey. I turned around and I stared at it. And I swear to God, it was like I looked at it for the first time. I never realized what I had done. I never celebrated the fact. But I did after that video. I looked at it and I appreciated it and I felt proud. And it made me look at the RCMP in a different way after doing that video. Strange. It's strange. There's two careers. One is depot, and then one is after depot. I don't know if that made any sense. Short, sweet. That's all I wanted to say tonight. Have a good weekend. Hopefully you're not working. Bye-bye.